Let's talk trip planning. So you're planning your next outdoor adventure travel vacation, but you have no idea where to start when it comes to planning. Thankfully, I'm incredibly type A when it comes to my outdoor travels, so I'm gonna walk you through some of the things that I did to plan and scout for our trip to the Everglades. The first rule of leave no trace is to plan ahead and prepare. And I think that that is a great rule to live by, especially if you're going to be recreating in the backcountry like a national park. It helps you minimize any unwanted disasters, but also keeps you and your gear safe. The first rule of leave no trace is to plan ahead and prepare. I am a New England girly at heart, so this is actually a great example of how I would prepare for a trip that I can't physically scout beforehand and have never been to. For any trip like this, I'm usually cross-referencing a few different kinds of maps, but for a national park, I will definitely want to check out their own map because they'll be able to tell you a detailed account of what you're going to be seeing while you're there. And also, the National Park Service does a great job of updating their website for trail closures and things like that, so make sure to check that out before you go to see if the trail that you want to go on is even open at that time of year. But also for a trip like this, I'm going to be using a topographical map as well because they will give you a much more detailed account for the terrain that you're going to be in. I personally really like to use Gaia for this because it allows you to save waypoints and routes for offline use, especially if you're going to be in an area with no service. And I'll also use Google Maps as well when I'm traveling because it tells you a little bit more of a street view, especially if you're looking for things like parking or trying to see what the sides of roads look like for a potential photo opportunity. And it's also great if you aren't entirely sure what the road conditions are going to be like. Maybe you're looking at a trail that's off of a service road and you can't quite tell if it's going to be paved, dirt, or even just completely covered in mud. It's good to know these things before you head out so you don't find yourself in a bit of trouble. And one tip that I think that people don't utilize enough when traveling to a new location is hiring a local guide. A local outdoor guide can give you the inside scoop on really specific niche locations that you won't be able to find out just by Googling photography spots in the Everglades, totally unique, never been photographed before. And especially in a place like the Everglades, where a lot of this park can only be accessed by water, at least going on 1 or 2 tours will really give you the full immersive experience with this park because you won't be able to access some of it just by walking with your 2 feet. While we were here, we went on a couple different tours. We took a boat tour and we were able to go see the 1,000 Islands of the Everglades right from the middle of the water. And we also took a swamp tour while we were in Big Cypress, where we were quite literally waist deep in water, which gave us a full immersive experience for all of what the Everglades has to offer. And I don't know if I would have gone into that without a local experienced guide. And another great scouting tool if you are looking at a place that you don't live in is something like PhotoPills, which is a sun and a moon tracker app if you're looking for super niche lighting conditions. While we were here, I was really aiming to get a moon rising and moon setting spot, as well as sunrise and sunset, but I wouldn't have been able to scout locations ahead of time if I didn't use an app like this. For this app, you can basically pinpoint a location and see which way the sun will be rising and setting, same with the moon, and at exactly which time it will be going over the horizon. So while I was in New York in our office, I was able to check out different locations ahead of time to make sure that I had the best chance of capturing the photo that I was looking for. So from there, I was able to pinpoint specific locations to be able to see where the moon would be rising and setting, and then be able to pick my vantage point from there to give myself the best chance of getting the photo that I was looking for. Okay, so now that we've done all of our planning, it is time to pack. And I'll keep the gear section fairly brief because I'm sure that you already have your favorite camera that you are just itching to use. But the headline for me was hybrid cameras that have great autofocus and high resolution, in addition to having some that are a bit more compact and travel friendly. So I was shooting quite a bit with the Canon R5 as well as the Canon R6 Mark III. But I also brought along the OM1 Mark II because it is super compact and lightweight. I also brought along a variety of lenses from fisheye to wide, standard, even telephoto to give myself tons of options while I was out shooting. And in addition to my bigger cameras, I also brought along the Insta360 Go Ultra, just as a fun little pocket camera for fun moments between me and the team. I also brought along a variety of filters from ND, CPL, even an infrared filter, which will help me with flaring, with bright sunny conditions. And then the infrared one was really just for fun. And when you're out hiking around, sometimes carrying around a big tripod can be a little bit too cumbersome. So I brought along the Obin CQL13 because it's super lightweight and small, and I can just put it right in my backpack. And other ways that we kept our gear safe, I brought along some classic dry bags just in case we needed them for phones and important items, but I also brought along a waterproof camera bag so that when we were on our swamp tour, we were able to quite literally dunk the camera into the water, which helps you get incredibly unique shots that you obviously would not be able to get if you were just dunking your regular camera. Time for the more miscellaneous stuff. Dave brought along a car charger adapter so we were able to keep our cameras fully charged all day long while we were out shooting. Now, if it's just you going out on your trip, you might not need something of this caliber, but you could also bring along a smaller portable power bank that would be great for just you and your phone and maybe a camera charge. And when you're out photographing in the outdoors, obviously we are very fashion forward. So we are wearing things like lightweight, comfy clothes, sturdy shoes, hats. Matt even brought his birding hat. We had bug nets just in case, and then Hunter even brought his waders for the swamp tour. Now that we've done all of our research and we are fully packed up and ready to go, we are ready to go shoot in the Everglades with the alligators. So wish me luck. I'm Sam with B&H, and hopefully I will see you next time.